Well, if it isn't your resident marathon shill reporting for duty, hello there, aye, Captain, nice to see you. Yeah, I hate to say it, but I like the game. It's actually a poison pill to like a Bungie product, because liking it immediately means you get an army of internet gremlins that think that you're being paid $1 bajillion to have an opinion and all this nonsense. And it's rough. It's really rough. My life would be easier if I didn't like the game. Honestly, I'd make more money elsewhere if I didn't like the game. I would have a simpler time if I didn't like the game, but instead, unfortunately, I'm having a good time. It's fun. It's just fun. In this video, I'm going to talk a bit about my first impressions of Marathon, and I'm going to kind of walk through some of the things that I think really do need improvement, first of all, because there are some things that are just not quite there, in my opinion, and need to be fleshed out and need to be developed a little further. And then there are other things that are just complete cinema. They are total cinema. To start with, I don't think the player on-ramp into this game is good enough. I just don't think it's there. I think the people that already want to like Marathon are going to be willing to push through some of the sort of difficulty of the first couple of hours of the game, the difficulty of the UI, the difficulty of the systems. And then when they do that, they're in for an amazing time because they sort of tap into the gold that lies at the end of the yellow brick road. Where is this analogy going? I don't know. Those people will do that, right? But new players who are on the fence, who are evaluating, who are like, oh, maybe, yeah, I'll try it. I'm worried that they're just going to bounce off right now. And the reason for that is when you launch into the game for the first time, it doesn't feel great to play. In the tutorial, you're running a character that has no attachments, no mods, no nothing on your kit really, which means that you're sluggish, you're slow. Your heat system, which is basically your sprint meter, builds up way too quickly. You just feel lethargic. You feel like you're not quite getting it. Then the bots start doing tons of damage to you. You have to get used to how the radial menu for the heals works, and then the guns are all really complex to try and understand, okay, this ammo goes in this gun, and these mods go on this gun, and there's so much there that I think that the initial experience of playing the game just isn't very friendly. And I think that there's a very easy fix for this. The Bungie could have so easily implemented, and I'm really shocked that they didn't, and it's the following. I think in your first run in the tutorial, you should be given really, really good loot. Like, I'm talking like purples and golds. There should be incredibly good stuff in the tutorial. And then at the end of the tutorial, it should forcibly kill you and make you lose that gear. And it should be the player's first experience of dying being the first step. It's the motto of the game, right? Or one of them. It needs to be something that is tutorialized, but crucially, it could be used to show off what the game can feel like when you are a god, right? When you've gone through those cycles and you feel incredibly powerful. Give people that little carrot on the end of the stick to chase, and I think that the onboarding experience will be a lot smoother because people will go, well, this is sluggish right now, but I know it's gonna feel real good in the future. Whereas currently, I think a lot of people start the game and they think, oh, it doesn't feel nearly as good as I expected from a Bungie shooter, and they put it down. And that's avoidable if you just give people the stuff that is in the game that makes it feel just as incredible as we who've been playing the game a lot more know it can feel. Aside from that little tutorial gripe though, you get out of the tutorial, you start doing your first couple of runs. There's still a lot of room for improvement on the way that the game teaches you things. There's been a lot of discussion about the UI, for example, and how the UI is confusing. I think that the UI mostly is functional, actually, having used it for a little while, but what it's not functional for is teaching you how to use it. I think that the dark blue highlight thing that they've got going on with the dark blue boxes that pop up, almost like some kind of old Windows 95 error message, aesthetically looks quite nice, but functionally isn't great. There's one point in the tutorial where it says to like open the detail menu or something, and it highlights a box in the corner in this dark blue line. I couldn't see it for like a whole minute. I just didn't realize it was highlighted. I was looking everywhere else on the screen for this one little thing. I think stuff like that is an unfortunate example of form over function. And I get it because Marathon's aesthetic is so heavily indulged through all of the design of the game. I just think that in the UI, there's room for it to be a little clearer. For example, even just clicking between some of the different factions and contracts and upgrades and all those sorts of things, that could feel a little bit smoother, especially the attachments system or the mods system for your weapons. That could feel a lot smoother as well. I'd love to be able to just have a weapon in my inventory, click on an empty slot, have it instantly highlight all of the attachments in my backpack that could go there, and then just like click one and it just instantly applies. I'd love to be able to do that. I'd love to be able to see a mod on a weapon in a backpack. So I'm looting someone else, right? I see a gun that has one little chip mod that I want to rip off. I don't want to have to equip that weapon and drop my current weapon, then hold F to steal that mod into my backpack, then drop the weapon, then pick my regular weapon back up. Why do I have to go through that flow? I should just be able to look at the weapon and pull the mod off. Like, what are we doing here? So there's things like that where there's quality of life that could be massively, massively improved just by making a few small changes, honestly. That's something I'm very keen for them to do. I also think that there's some kind of just feel things that I could like to see improved. Like when I'm loading in, a lot of the time you get that moth screen, right? That purple moth screen. But then it'll just go black and it's just sitting there for like 30 seconds sometimes or a minute sometimes on a black screen. I feel like that would be very easy to just add a little spinning widget to, and it would at least help me be confident that my game hasn't crashed. I think that would be an improvement. I think that some of the material stacking in the game could potentially be improved slightly as well. There's just certain instances where I find that my vault's getting very full early on, and it's a bit fiddly to manage. And this is one that I'm not actually super critical of, because I think that incentivizing the player to actually go through those vault upgrades is a really important way to get them doing the skill tree stuff. So I understand its need there. But yeah, I think that especially as you get later into the game, especially in sort of the mid game, it really feels like when you're on those blue backpacks, you just do a bunch of runs and you don't have enough backpack space. And purple backpacks are not common enough. And so you just find yourself having to like drop all your ammo in order to take stuff out, and it just doesn't feel great. So I think there's some small tweaks that could be made to the overall mid-game feel maybe there as well. But aside from those things, so far, I'm having a good time, man. I'm having a really good time. And I'm not normally a PvP guy, but there's something about it that has hooked me like very little else has hooked me in the last couple of years. The aesthetic I love. I think that the design is gorgeous. I know that some people think it looks like Splatoon or whatever. I really like it. I absolutely love the lore stuff that they've got going on in the game. It's dripping with ambience and aura and vibes, and it's really, really cool. I look forward to seeing how that progresses as we get more trailers and cinematics and character info and all sorts of stuff. The sound in this game, holy moly, it's so good. It's amazing. That soundtrack, phenomenal. The in-game sound, like the environmental sound, phenomenal. Some of the best video game sound I've ever experienced. I'm not gonna lie. Like, it's not that it's like I'm hearing a sound and I'm going, whoa, that's the coolest sound I've ever heard. It's the fact that I can trust the sound sandbox. I can trust the soundscape around me. And for an extraction shooter, that's so important. There have so far been 0 instances for me where I've been like, oh, that sound came from the wrong place. Or, oh, that sounded like it was above me when actually it was to my side and that's really annoying. Or, oh, I couldn't hear those footsteps and that was annoying. Like, I, so far, touch wood, have had a really good experience with the sound, which is not easy to do in a game like this. So that's been very impressive. And also, like, I love the music. I love the music. It's been phenomenal. Code Race, one of the top video game songs of all time. Like, it slaps. It's very, very good. I also really like the variability of the matches. I think that Destiny struggled for a long time with the fact that it's ultimately Bungie-driven storytelling. Like, they have to create all the content all the time. Whereas, and I was thinking about this last night a bit before I went to bed, the marathon opportunity, I think, is for Bungie to set up the sandbox and set the table for people to create their own experiences, but then people can create their own experiences. Like, in 3 weeks' time, with slight prods and tweaks and stuff to the meta and things like that, people will really make their own fun by engaging in fights differently and by changing the way that they talk to other players. And I think that there's just a lot more room in this game for the way the player chooses to interact with the world to mean that their experience can be functionally very different and not as fatiguing potentially as well. I'm pretty excited about it based on that. I am a little concerned about Bungie's survivability, I guess. Destiny's just in a really rough spot, and if this game dies, like if Marathon doesn't do well, then Bungie's toast. Like candidly, Bungie is just toast. And I like Bungie. I love raids in Destiny. They're so fun, and I want them to be something that keep going through the future. And I'm really liking Marathon right now, and I want that to be something that doesn't just end abruptly. I want that to have a long life. And it's a little tricky, admittedly, going into a new franchise from a company that's sort of disliked by a lot of people in the industry, a lot of people in the gaming community as well, because like I want to be a fan of it, man. I want to, but I'm also a little scared. I think in terms of gunplay, that's another one that I've had a really good experience with so far. The guns feel great to shoot. I will say there have been a few instances of desync that have been a bit weird, but I've been playing with an Australian, so it could just be that, I suppose. The guns feel really reliable. They feel good to shoot. The upgrades to the guns feel really great as well. And just the upgrades to your character overall. I really like the sandbox. I think the mods systems for the weapons themselves are interesting. I think the cores and implants are really interesting too. I think across the different runner shells, there's a good amount of variability right now. I'm not finding that my lobby is all full of one character. You see some groups of players and they're just running triple thief because they want to be nice and nimble. Then other times there'll be a recon and a triage and a insert other character here. I've really seen a lot of variation, actually. I will say that Destroyer feels like it's being played a bit less right now. And I'm also not seeing a huge number of Rook runs, but I think that might just be because it's day one and the Rook runs will sort of start taking shape over the course of the coming days and weeks. So that might be why that's the case. Speaking of, though, Rook is an awesome character with an awesome personality, even though it's just a shell. I really love the addition of Rook to this game. I think that it's so good. I love the way Rook sounds. The voice acting actually across Marathon is great. I should say that too. But Rook specifically, I've been having a really sort of fun time interacting with. I like the idea of there always potentially being a Rook sneaking around. Like, it works really, really well. So that's a big positive for the game, in my opinion. I also think that they've turned it around on a lot of the things that people hated for during the alpha, right? So like, people were hating on Bungie and hating on Marathon for no prox chat. Prox chat's great now. I haven't run into a ton of people using it, but the instances where I have been using it, it's been really fun, so I'm really glad it's there. I'm glad they found a solution for that. Similarly, I saw them getting a ton of flack about having no solo queue. You can run solos now. That is doable. You can run solos without forced squad fill. And I haven't done any of that yet myself, but I was playing with Gary last night, who's done a ton of solos, and he had a really, really good time with it, as much as he said it is a bit scary because the game's like a horror game when it's solo. Like, it's actually so much more scary. So like things like that, core things that people really criticize them for. Some of the graphics as well. In the alpha, people were really criticizing it. And obviously they had the art controversy, but Anti-Real, who was the person that was stolen from, is in the game credits now, and I think the art style has only gotten better and better over time, and the way it's lit now especially has really improved. It's gorgeous. I really love the look of this game, and I love how they're playing with rooms that are like all red, and it's bright red. Rooms that are really dark and difficult to see in. Like, there's so much variation. These big, open, marshy areas with the sunlight beaming through the fog, and then you've got these completely crystal clear view sightlines. Like, there's some good stuff there, man. There's some good stuff. Artistically, visually, I've been feasting. I've been having a good time. I also think the battle pass is really reasonable. I don't think that it's unrealistic or outrageous or anything in any way. The battle pass progress doesn't wipe. Like, you don't lose the battle pass if you buy it. There's a lot of good stuff like that that's happening. The skins so far, I think, look really cool. There's nothing that's like really crazy, but I think that's good because it stays within the Marathon aesthetic. And the promise of Cryo Archive also, it's got me very intrigued, man. I mean, I don't know what exactly the experience is going to be like on it, but I definitely think that the potential there is enormous. And then there's all the other stuff that Bungie does, right? Like the way that they do little ARGs for the community. The fact that I went to LA the other day, like literally like 3 days ago, to try and track down one of those ARGs, and then we ended up getting into a Bungie event, and Joe Ziegler gave me this box, and I don't know what it's for. Like, The fact that those sorts of things exist is so cool to me, man. There are so few other companies that do that sort of thing, that invest in the broader fandom of their games in that way. But I think Bungie does really care about that stuff, and I'm excited to see what that might play out into in the future. Obviously, if the game succeeds, then they'll be able to invest in those things more. And we'll just have to sort of wait and see for that. But yeah, I so far have been very impressed with all their ARG marketing stuff and their cinematics as well, and their trailers. Oh my god, industry leading. Like, they're just phenomenal. We'll see how that progresses in the future, especially as we build up to things like their first major sort of cryo update, whenever that's going to be. And now I am fast forwarding in time to give my Outpost thoughts, because Outpost is now dropped as of the recording of this part of the video, and Outpost is fun. Dude, Outpost is fun. And they're doing stuff in the game where there's a terminal in one of the maps in Perimeter that then leads you to another terminal, and you do that 3 times, you get 3 pairs of terminals, and it gave us a secret website, and the secret website is seemingly going to be updated over the next few days, and is seemingly going to lead to Cryo Archive, so that's exciting as well, but it's going to sort of path us through the other maps first. So it's going to go Perimeter, then Diamond, then Outpost, and Outpost is a really, really cool space. It's very mazy, it's probably going to be quite puzzly. You got to get these colored keycards to get into the different areas, and it's about knowing those spawn locations. There's a lot of map knowledge that's needed to really be an expert there, but that's good because it means that the skill ceiling is higher. It means that it's something that isn't going to get old nearly as quickly as like a Perimeter where you kind of get it very fast. So I'm very impressed overall, and that's kind of my stance on the game overall so far. There's a lot of stuff here where I'm just like, this is really impressive and it's really fun right now. Whether it stands the test of time and it's fun in 6 months, I don't know. We'll see. But as of right this moment, the stuff I'm seeing on Outpost is sick. I'm having a ton of fun in my runs. I'm intrigued by the out-of-world stuff they're doing with the ARG type bits and pieces. I'm intrigued by the fact that I have this box just sitting here, waiting for answers. There's a lot of intrigue in the world of Marathon, and that's something that fuels me as a person. My creative curiosity really eats up that kind of thing. And Bungie seem to be doing a really amazing job of delivering that in spades right now. So I'm excited to see where this goes, and my early impressions are extremely positive overall, despite the issues that the game does have. Something I didn't mention earlier, there's like a hit registration thing sometimes, where on occasion I shoot someone and my bullets just don't hit them, whether it's a bot or a person. And it's not just me being bad, like I'll literally sit there and just fire and fire and fire and like clip it, and it's very clear that it's not working. I could probably insert a clip of that. So yeah, those sorts of things are a bit weird. There's some kinks to flesh out and to work out rather, but overall promising for an early start to this game, and I look forward to seeing how it continues. So if you want to see some of my other Marathon content, it's on my channel. It's all out there. I've been posting videos from day one, so click through to those. They'll be linked on the screen right now, and I'll see you very soon. Ciao.